friends, it's Angela Hochman, your host of In the Kitchen on STL TV. Now on this show, we work to give you just a little glimpse into the amazing and always vibrant St. Louis food scene. So today I have brought on chef and owner of SqWires over in Lafayette Square, the one and only Bethany Budde. Bethany, how are you?
Great, thank you. Thanks for having me. This is very exciting.
Good. Well, I'm delighted that you're here. We apparently are making a very special and personal dish today. Talk about Tom's Seafood Chowder. Who is Tom? Why does he have a chowder?
Right. Tom Cohen is my husband.
Okay.
And he's not a chef, but he's a great cook. Does such a really nice job. But this is a dish that is very near and dear to my heart. Our first real date, I went to his house and he made seafood chowder for me. So,
wow.
yep, and it was amazing. He did such a great job.
You're like, this is so good, I could marry you, Tom.
Exactly.
And here we are. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
a very successful first date. That was quite some time ago.
It was.
And now, so you are the chef and owner of SqWires.
Yes.
When did SqWires open?
23 years ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
Wowza. And I want to get started with this very, I'm going to call it electric, because there is a lot going
There's
on
a lot
in this
going on.
chowder.
Yeah. So with this, it can be very simple, but do keep in mind that there's 3 pots going on at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
And it all finishes in one of them.
How do you time it like that? I think I'm like a decent cook, you
Okay.
know, but I can never, for the life of me, get the timing down.
Right.
Is it just with time?
A lot of this, you know, okay, it might be getting too hot. You can take it off. You can put it back on. You know, so just kind of play with the recipe when you're making it at home.
Okay.
But starting with the roux. So bacon, of course, is going to be the most important part of this.
I think it's the most important part of any meal, anywhere, all the time.
Seafood could be, but yeah. So the bacon's pretty important. But you can kind of get the bacon going and just make sure you're getting a lot of that grease rendered out, and we'll let that sit for a couple of minutes while it's going.
And you mentioned a roux. Can you define, some of our viewers might not be familiar with the word roux.
Sure. A traditional roux is going to be a fat, a grease, and flour. And in our case, that we're using bacon. So what this does is we're making it so that we add it into the stew to thicken it.
Okay. Sort of like what a cornstarch might do, something like that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So if you have a gluten allergy, feel free to still keep the bacon, but use cornstarch on kind of the last part of the mixing of the stew itself.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so,
wow.
Yeah. Yep. You can keep working on that.
Okay.
The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just start getting our garlic.
Oh, bring on the garlic,
Yes,
Bethany.
yes,
That's my
yes.
favorite smell
Absolutely.
in the whole entire world.
Yep. So I like to use butter. Butter's better. Butter's best.
Butter and bacon. You don't need much more else in life, I don't think.
So I've got celery. I've got onion.
We're healthy. We're
I've
having
got
a great
garlic in the butter. So, and maybe just a little bit of salt and pepper. Keep in mind that you're going to have some bacon fat in here.
Yeah.
So you don't need a whole lot of salt. I also put my potatoes in at that point in time. Okay.
Are
so
they
I've got
simple roasted reds?
yeah. So they're just raw red potatoes.
Okay.
So if you get that going with the butter and with the celery and onion, they're going to cook about the same time that they would. So. Everything,
that's interesting.
Yeah, so it'll all be done at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
so it's
cool.
a really nice saute. I'm just going to turn that one up a little bit more. So with this, you're going to really want to get as much of the fat out of it, because that's going to make your roux much better. So I'll probably turn that up a little bit. Yeah.
So can you talk just a bit about you've got a very extensive menu. I feel like there's fun things going on almost every day of the week. Talk about a little bit of the variation of these different menus.
Yeah, so we do have lunch and dinner, and then of course our weekend brunch, which is so popular.
Ooh, Saturdays and Sundays?
Saturdays and Sunday day, yep. So our brunch also includes our Bloody Mary Mimosa Bar.
Okay,
which
good
is
morning.
very popular, very visual. Lots of items that you can just dress up your Bloody Mary or mimosa with. We also have some different nightly specials. So on Tuesdays, we do our square plates. So these are just 7 or 8 very you know, kind of small dinner plates, more like a tapas appetizer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they're $8 each.
Oh, very happy hour friendly.
Exactly.
Are the plates actually square?
They are, and
Perfect.
it's spelled SqWare.
Adorable.
Yep.
We do want to get into the name SqWires after you tell me a little bit more about what else goes on during the week at SqWires.
Yeah, so Wednesday nights we do, actually Wednesday lunch and dinner, we have half-price wine.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yep. So all you have to do is, there's no limit on it. You just have to have ordered either an entree or a sandwich.
No limit, but
Yep.
drink responsibly.
Yes, exactly. And then on Thursdays in the fall, we either have, so during the fall, we have our family style fried chicken, which is from, yep, so it's from Labor Day to Memorial Day. And then Memorial Day to Labor Day on Thursdays, we have our patio barbecue.
Oh, wow.
Yes, lots of local meats, fish, vegetarian items.
Holy cow. So when do you rest? There is something going on 24/7.
We have an awesome staff.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yep.
And so I want to back up just a little bit. SqWires is not spelled traditionally.
It is
I'm a
not.
grammar nerd, but I was like, wait a minute, there's no U after that Q. Talk about the spelling.
So SqWires is housed in a historic Victorian wire factory.
Okay.
So SQ is for Lafayette Square, and Wires is because of the wire factory, SqWires.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's adorable. Okay.
All right,
All
so
right, how's this bacon?
that's
It
looking
looks like
really
we're
good.
getting-
Yes.
Smells good too.
I know, isn't that great? So what we do is, I don't even really drain it, but I just make sure that we leave as much of the oil in it, and the bacon goes right in the
And
stew.
it will continue to cook in with the other items. Holy cow. What would you say are some of your most popular menu items?
Oh gosh, okay, so we do, we smoke all of our own meats and our salmon, vegetables, salts, nuts, so we can smoke lots of things. So our smoked brisket, we've had it on our menu since we opened, is very, very popular. We also do a really great vegetable lasagna. It's
I've had
noodleless.
that.
It's noodleless.
Yes, is it zucchini?
Yep.
Something that, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you do not even miss the noodles. From an Italian, that is quite a compliment.
It is, yeah.
It is so good.
I think it's the goat cheese
yeah.
or the Parmesan.
It's all the things. Cheese, I mean,
Yes.
don't get me started, but it was so good. And you guys have such a great mix of like comfort food with a twist, but
We do.
also just such an eclectic, I don't know. You have so many different things on there. You've got a kids menu. Thank you for that. I'll bring
You're
my littles
welcome.
in.
We do try to keep the menu as local as possible and as simple as possible. Right now, what I'm adding in here is I'm doing a saute of our salmon and wild-caught cod and Gulf shrimp. And you can just get this sauteed off lightly and then turn it off, because it's going to go into the stew almost last.
How will you know that that's finished?
So as soon
When it
as
pops us
everything,
in the eye?
right, there you go. As soon as everything becomes translucent, so you're gonna just kind of keep an eye on it. You don't want it to be overdone. So if you,
Wow, that's quite a mix.
isn't that beautiful?
It really is.
Yeah.
Be careful, we don't want to lose an eye during this.
Sorry about
But
that.
also, so this is one of your seasonal items.
It is.
But you do tweak it because it makes an appearance in a couple different seasons.
It does.
Can you talk about how you make it?
It can
Seasonal.
be very hearty, so it can be a great winter dish.
Yeah, yeah.
And and that's with making it a little bit thicker.
Sure.
In the springtime into early summer, which we're going to be doing in the next couple weeks, we make a lighter version of it. So instead of using 40%, we use half and half.
Oh, sure.
Yep. So it's a little bit lighter. We do a little bit less on the roux, and then we use fresh dill.
Oh, yum. Dill is magical. You don't even need that much of it, but you're like, wow, hello, there's
Yes,
some dill in
exactly.
there. it's
I'm going
so
to go
good.
ahead and turn the seafood off.
Okay.
Okay. So as the roux is getting nice and thick, always know if it gets too dry, you can add a tiny bit of milk to it.
Oh, okay. I always wonder the equal parts to make it just right.
Yep. So this is really looking good, and we don't quite need it until the end, so I'll turn that down a little bit, and I'll go back to our vegetables. So now we've been simmering our potatoes, our celery, our carrot. We put our veg stock into it. Okay, so we're gonna just kind of let that go. It really does need to simmer for 30 minutes. just until everything is done. And again, since you started it in butter and you sauteed it, it gets a really good head start.
Okay,
and it's got
good to know.
Yeah, some great flavor.
Wowza. So a fun fact about Tom. Tom is now a vegetarian. So
Yes.
things have changed since
That's right.
the first date until now.
Yes.
So
Yes.
does he make his own without the
He does.
bacon?
Yep, so he will make a roux out of butter
Okay.
and flour.
I respect that.
Yep, and a little salt and pepper, since we don't have the bacon in it.
Gotcha.
Yep, so he adds a little bit more of that. But yeah, so he's been a vegetarian now for about 8 or 9 years, and he just loves this dish. So
I mean, can't go wrong with it.
No,
I
you
would
sure can't.
guess the smell of bacon might bring him back one day.
you would have thought. And,
Yeah.
and he does smell it a lot, and he's like, oh, I miss it. But
Tom's like, I don't even smell it anymore.
Yeah.
So how often does your menu change? I know you're very, seasonal with your items, and you like to choose a lot of local ingredients, which I know everyone appreciates.
right, exactly. And that does give us the ability to change pretty often. So we change 4 times a year.
Okay.
So kind of major seasonally.
Sure.
But then once we transition into spring to summer and then fall to winter, we have a couple, those are a little bit more minor changes.
Yeah, got it.
Yep.
Oh, that's interesting. Have you ever taken something off the menu that was seasonal and then people lose their
I
minds?
did. I sure did. So yeah, I took off our chicken pot pie
How
one
dare
year.
you, Bethany? How dare you?
And people were like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, nothing. It went back on within the month, I'm
You're
sure.
like, I'll bring your comfort food back.
Yeah.
Speaking of being right back, we are gonna take a very quick break. We are gonna let all this beautiful, delicious food finish simmering and sauteing. And when we come back, we are going to learn a lot more about SqWires, their community involvement, and what else this amazing, robust restaurant has to offer. We'll see you in a second.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depressing stuff.
That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Hey there, welcome back to In the Kitchen. Now, when we left off, I have owner and chef Bethany Budde from SqWires. She and I say she, you were doing most of the work. I was just yapping.
You did an awesome job.
Well, thank you. But we were making a very famous dish at SqWires, the seafood chowder. Okay, so let's talk real quick. Those 3 pots are gone now.
Right.
It's all come together.
It sure is. Just had to add the seafood in, had to put our roux in,
Okay.
a little bit of stock, and cream.
Bingo. That is the key to a delightful chowder. Now, Bethany, before we get into eat, I want to talk a little bit about the community involvement
Sure.
that SqWires is part of.
Absolutely, yeah, that's pretty close to our hearts as well. We live in a great historic neighborhood that needs a lot of work, a lot of neighborhood volunteering. So we have a space, we host the meetings for the Lafayette Square Restoration Committee once a month. And then, of course, during their house tours, we also support through that. We also are, ALS is my grandfather died in 1992 from Lou Gehrig's disease. So that's been one charity that we support all year round.
Wow. That's incredible that you have such an awareness of like, this isn't just about serving people right now in the restaurant. It's we can make a bigger footprint and make
Right.
an impact by
Right.
what we're doing. That's amazing.
It is, and one point on that is all of not-for-profits that we host in our private spaces for like their fundraisers or their meetings. If they're a 501c3, we waive the room fee, and then and then work within their budgets
That's incredible. It is truly about giving back
It is.
at SqWires.
I agree.
You also have a heck of a lot of local representation in your market.
We do.
Talk about that and what is going on in front of me right now.
Got it. So SqWires Market is just a little tiny corner of our restaurant, but it's super colorful and it's got lots of items in it. So it's we have homemade cookies, we have bridge bread, companion bread, local artists for gifts and cards, Lafayette Square merchandise, a great grab-and-go counter with fresh foods that we make in the kitchen.
Yes, and you mentioned something goes down Saturdays at 2 o'clock. Talk
Saturdays
about
at
that real
2.
quick.
Handmade tamales, 3 different flavors. You can pre-order them online.
You heard it first here, you guys. But this is cool because you also have live music. And I was asking, who is your artist? And this particular artist is Monica Casey.
Correct.
St. Louis person.
Yes.
And she made these cards as well as these towels, and she performs.
She does, yep. So she plays her ukulele, she sings, she's beautiful. We also have live music every Thursday, and then during brunch we have piano music.
Oh my gosh, you have literally thought of everything. And can you just briefly touch on some big occasions that people might celebrate at SqWires? I know I've
Sure.
been there for a wedding and for a big volunteer banquet dinner.
Oh, perfect.
It was lovely.
Yep. So we've got the 2 spaces, the annex in the front room, and baby showers, weddings, rehearsal dinners, business meetings, all year round, full service venue.
Amazing. I love it. Bethany, it might be time for my favorite part of the show.
All right.
It's the time to eat.
Great, absolutely. You want to dish us up?
Yes, I do. And then we're going to talk a little bit about these garnishes too, which do change seasonally, you
They
mentioned?
do, yep.
Okay.
So during the winter seasons, we'll use more of the parsley.
Okay.
As we transition into spring and summer, fresh dill
Ooh,
Yep.
yum.
becomes a
yum,
big part
yum.
of this menu.
Oh, I bet. Okay, so I will let you do the garnishing.
Okay.
Are these generous amounts, I'd say?
They're nice.
Okay. And how, is this the companion bread?
It is, yeah. That's a companion French, a 6-inch French, and we have those for sale in our market as well. But they just do such a great job with
They
their
do.
their
Just
breads.
such a delightful local
Thank you.
place. So let's take some bites and see how
Okay.
we did.
All right.
Again, I'm taking credit for that. I did not do half as much as you did.
You want to go first?
I do. Okay, I gotta make sure. I want everything in these,
You got-
but
you
for
gotta have-
TV, can't take too big of a bite,
Wow.
Oh my gosh, nailed it.
Thank you. You too. Nice
This
job.
Was so
Isn't it good? We got to
It's
tear
like-
some bread and dip
Okay,
it.
you don't have to ask me twice. Tear bread and dip it. If I was at home, I would just, but I'm not gonna do that.
What's nice about this bread is it does not need to be warmed.
No, and it tears. It's
It
so
does.
fresh and so yummy.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of sauce and dipping things. So I'm like, there is no drop of anything that goes wasted in our house. I dip bread in it.
Isn't that the best?
Yes, it is. Oh my gosh. Holy moly. This is amazing. I love that you can find this just about all year
Right?
at SqWires. I cannot thank you enough, chef and owner Bethany Budde
Thank
from
you.
SqWires, for joining me. I know you're busy. You got a lot going on. You're running a wonderful restaurant. But I want to thank you for taking time
You're
to join
welcome.
me in the kitchen today. And you guys, please consider SqWires for your next event. Like she said, pretty much anything you want to celebrate, you can go to SqWires, or simply show up for brunch, enjoy some music, bring the family. They have everything. And a great place to do some shopping too with their market. Check them out on Facebook, check them out on Instagram, and definitely check out their website because you will salivate looking at all of the yummy menu items. That is going to do it on this episode of In the Kitchen. On the next episode, though, you gotta tune in to the Latte Lounge and HG Eatery. They are joining me. We're gonna make some yummy stuff, but you gotta tune in to see how we do it. I'm Angela Hochman. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen.